everyone, so today I'm doing a quick little review for you guys, and it is on the Urban Decay. This is the Naked 2 Basics palette, and I'm just going to be talking to you guys a little bit about the palette today. I'm also going to be comparing it to the original Naked Basics palette, and I'm also going to show you guys how it can interact with the Naked 1, 2, and 3 as well. So first of all, as you guys know, Urban Decay has been on this phenomenon of where they have been just coming out with Naked palette after Naked palette, and within somewhere in between the first and the second one, they actually released the Naked Basics palette. Now looking at the Naked Basics palette, as you guys can see, it is more of a cooler toned palette. Everyone pretty much has this palette by now. I think it retails for, I want to say, around about $29, $39, somewhere around in there. So the palettes are very affordable, and they usually come with the 6 colors. Usually out of the 6 colors, one of the colors happens to be a shimmer or a semi, what do they call it, semi-matte or something like that. But it does have like that more of a little sparkly kind of finish to it. So if you love the first palette, which is this one, like I've said, then the second palette happens to in the same packaging and everything just as well. But this one is more on the browner taupey side is what I'm seeing from this palette. I have went ahead and I swatched the palette for you guys because I wanted to give you not only just my opinion of it, but I wanted you to also form your own opinion of the palette for yourselves in this video to see if the palette would just work for you in general. So here you have the colors Skimp, Stark, Frisk, Cover, Primal, and Undone. Now this palette is more on the pinky, taupey kind of colors, which reminds me a lot of the Naked 3 palette, to be honest with you guys, because looking at the palettes, I just feel that these palettes coincide with one another. The Naked Basics palette is basically for transitioning colors. If you're just looking for something that you can take with you, something that's a little easier and more travel friendly, I would definitely suggest any of the Naked palettes. So the palette supposedly launched, I want to say, August the 19th, and I received mine today, which I do believe is like August the 20th, something like that. As soon as the little email went up that the palette had launched, I definitely knew it was something that I wanted to pick up. Now looking at the pictures from what I had seen online and on Instagram, I think they were a little misleading, because when you take a photo of this, and you will see in my photo as well, the photos tend to look a little more on the brown side. And I was actually thinking that this palette actually had more browner, kind of the darker brown or blending colors, which would be perfect for someone that's my skin tone or darker, to have just like a better option of blending colors other than the ones that we see here. My personal opinion, if you're someone that tends to love more of your pinky taupe kind of shades, then this palette is going to be excellent for you, especially if you're someone that has the Naked 3 palette, and if you have the first Naked palette, I definitely think that this palette is the one that you definitely want to go with. If you're someone that was more in love with the Naked 2 palette, I would definitely tell you to go ahead and stick with the first palette, simply for the fact that these are cooler shades compared to the second palette. And as you can see in the original second palette, again, you have your more cooler tones. So these two palettes would definitely coincide, the first Naked Basics and the second one. If you're someone that happens to love the first Naked palette, as you can see, these also would work really well in that color zone as well. One question that I know a lot of people are going to answer is, how do I think it will look on fair skin tones? Looking at some of the people and some of the videos that I've seen here lately that are up right now, I would actually have to say I think this palette would actually look really nice on anyone's skin complexion, just not my own. The only thing about this, I would say, sometimes I think with these colors and they're being so taupey looking, I do think that when you start to really blend them out, like if you were to use probably Cover, Primal, and Undone, I do think that it would kind of, the more you blend, I kind of feel that they would just look really muddy on someone my skin complexion. So you definitely have to be careful, because when you have like that little bit of that yellow or olive undertone, sometimes when we go to put colors on, depending on how much yellow we have or how much of the olive tone we have, it can sometimes throw off the color. With these, I'm a little scared that that's probably what's going to happen, because with some of the other colors that I use, they just don't look like really good blending colors for me. But I do think if you were to take this palette and mix it with a different palette, I do think that you could do some phenomenal looks with it. So, excuse me. So overall, yes, I think the palette is worth it. Yes, I would definitely purchase the palette. I have not tried the palette per se on my eyes yet. I will be doing more and more looks with it, and I will definitely come back and give you guys a tutorial and a more thorough review. But as first look and first opinion, I'm going to say, yeah, I do think that it's one that you would definitely want to pick up. So I went ahead and I swatched the colors on the back of my hand. Hopefully you can see them okay. I'm going to try to zoom you guys in. The color is going to be a little bit darker. So the first color that I have up here is the color Primal, and I just went ahead and I put that one up here. And as you can see by looking at Primal, in the pan it looks more like of just a darker toned brown, but here when it's swatched, and I did put Primal on here, you can kind of pick up the purple and the pink a little bit in that when it's swatched. The next color I have down here is the Skimp, which is a really beautiful highlight, guys. I think this would look beautiful as a brow bone highlight for anyone. The color Stark is also another really beautiful color. I think that would look absolutely amazing, especially someone of our skin tone. If you wanted to go with a matte highlight, that would definitely be an excellent one to choose. The color Cover, which is right here, which is really coming off as that really taupey brown kind of color, pinky brown taupe kind of color, which is here. And then the last color that I have here is Cover, which is the one right here. And as you can see, Cover has definitely a lot more of that plummy purpley color, but it's in the pan it looks more like of a dark brown or a tan brown. So those are the swatches on my hand there, and then the one over here is the color Undone. So this is the swatches. These are with primer that I'm showing you guys right now, and these are swatches of the first Naked palette that I'm also showing you guys. So here you have the color Faint, you have Venus, Faint Venus, Foxy, which is right here, WOS, which is right here, and then you have, I think I might have swatched some of these twice, but this one also again looks like, I'm sorry, this is Naked 2 here. So this is Naked 2, that's right here at the bottom. And then of course you have your Crave over here on the side. So here is the comparison of the two. You guys can kind of see which one. This is like, this hand is more cool, this hand has more of a pinky tone. So that's just kind of give you guys an idea of what it's going to look like on someone my skin tone. I will try to, like I said, have some pictures up so you guys can actually see the color that they are portraying in the palette, and then the actual color that they portray when swatched. And like I said, these are with primers on both hands, so kind of give you an idea. Overall, I think it's a wonderful palette. I think it's very beautiful, and I would definitely recommend picking it up. So there you guys have it. That is my review on the Naked Basics 2 palette. Please subscribe if you found this video to be helpful, and I will see you guys in the very next video. Bye!